What's up? What's up, guys? My name is Dontavious Hill, three-time Team USA high jumper, five-time NCAA All-American, currently with a personal best of 7 feet 5 inches. And today we're going to talk about the takeoff position. All right, and we're going to talk about different ways that our takeoff position can hinder us. Let's get right into it. So, first and foremost, um, your takeoff position is going to be basically the finishing move of, but right before you leave the ground, that's going to throw your body over the bar, right? The way that your body is positioned when you take off, that's going to basically be the last opportunity that you have to basically utilize your approach. Because when you're off the ground, you're already off the ground, right? Your body's going to do whatever it was already going to do. So when we think about a takeoff position, let's first start with the main things that people usually do. So first and foremost, we have our lead arm. We have our lead arm jumpers. All right. So that means we have a bar right here. All right. We have a bar right here. And that jumper, they'll usually be right here and they're sticking their arm out as they're taking off, getting ready to jump. And they're following that arm. Okay. When we think about this lead arm jumper, there's nothing wrong with having a lead arm, but there is a problem with having a lead arm that is stretching out this way, right? So, as a high jumper, if you are jumping and you have a lead arm, this is going to cause you issues if you're stretching your arm more parallel or even at a lower angle, because as you go over or as the bar raises and you still have an angle like this of a lead arm, your body is going to follow that. So what we have to do basically is we have to learn how to get a more upright angle when we're leading with that lead arm. Okay, and that is something that has to be mentally practiced and physically practiced. But the lead arm is the number one, well, not number one, but the first thing that usually a lot of athletes tend to do at their takeoff. Mostly speed jumpers, though. All right. Another thing, at takeoff position, knee drive. All right. The knee drive. So, how does knee drive like affect us in a bad way at our takeoff? Right. So basically, if we don't have any knee drive at all at the takeoff, or let's say if we have our knee jutted out all the way out here, kind of forward, that's gonna make us go forward. That's going to push us forward, kind of into the bar and along the bar, right? Instead of pushing us up, which is where we want to go, right? Also, if we have a knee drive that is, let's say, more down or doesn't really shoot like really high, then it's we're not taking advantage of that upper position of that propel that we could get up. Okay. And then we also have basically us not twisting that knee across the body. And basically call that a corkscrew knee drive, which we're going to get into. But basically, a corkscrew knee drive is being able to throw that knee across the body as you're going up, right? So we want to be able to keep that knee close to our body and drive it up at that takeoff position before we leave the ground, right? All right. Now, another thing that usually happens at takeoff for a lot of high jumpers is sinking down. High jumpers tend to sink down at takeoff because they believe with this bar up, they believe that if they sink down low, it's gonna give them the power to go up. But that is false. When we are here in this kind of position, we're trying to stay as tall as we possibly can, because if we stay tall in this moment, that's gonna put us in a better position to get over the bar. Because we want our hips to be at its tallest point at takeoff, so that whenever we're applying all of that force to the ground and jumping over the bar, like our hips have less room to travel. Like the taller you are, the less room your lower body and everything else has to travel to get over the bar. But if you sink down low and try to jump from here, that's just extra added inches that you have to travel up before you get over. All right. So, yeah, guys, if we just kind of look back at what we just talked about there, or we talked about three of the main problems. So I'm just going to put main problems, MP, which are the lead arm, the drive knee, and also sinking down. Most times, high jumpers are doing one of these things, or some of them do all three and don't get it right. But if we can nip these kind of things in the board, if we're a lead arm jumper, making sure we keep that angle more vertical, right? Don't come straight out here with it. Try to get it more here. If you drive your knee, making sure you're keeping that knee closer to your body and trying to shoot it more vertical and also across the body, and making sure you're staying tall at takeoff. All right, like making sure you're staying tall. It just don't get no simpler than that. You want to stay tall because that's gonna help you jump higher bars, right? And if we think about these concepts, like how do we do these things? Like how? Well, one of the main ways I would recommend to work on these kind of things like lead arm, drive knee, and also not sink it down is to walk through this in your mind slowly, right? So you have the ability to, I guess, pace through it, walkthroughs. For example, when athletes play other sports or when you show up before a track competition and you have basically a walkout or a shakeout, you basically want to, you have the high jump bar up and you're walking up to the bar. Let's say you're working on your arm angle. Every time you walk up to the bar, you're just walking through it slowly, making sure you shoot your arm at a higher angle as you pretend to, as you go through your takeoff motion in your mind, right? Boom, boom, boom. And I'm gonna purposely shoot it higher. If I usually shoot it here, I'm gonna purposely mentally shoot it there and get in reps doing that over and over and over again. Okay? Now, even the same thing takes place with the knee drive. Okay? As you're walking up to the bar, you're visualizing yourself and you're throwing that knee across, you're throwing that knee vertical, keeping it close to you and across the body, right? Walking up to the bar, seeing that, throwing that knee across the body. Same concept, okay? And even when you're thinking about not sinking down, right? This one tends to happen a lot when people go fast, but if you're going slow, boom, 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 you can stay tall on purpose because you're trying to put that in your mind and run it back and keep running. But yes, those are the main three things that people tend to do that I wanted to talk about today when it comes to takeoff position and how you can fix them by walking through and visualizing it and being slow mentally with it. But yes, high jumpers, athletes, parents, coaches, guys, if you want your high jump film reviewed, just submit your high jump film below. And also, if you want a free high jump strategy call, you'll also find that in the same link down below. And yeah, if you just fill out that, I will get you guys set up for a call with me where I will critique that high jump film for you, show you where you can make some improvements, and then from there, also walk you guys through what high jump coaching looks like. Yeah, and currently coaching number one high jumper in the nation, some of the best jumpers in the nation. So yeah, I would love to have you guys be a part if that's something that you guys want to do. It's for athletes who want to get scholarships, break school records, state championships, and things like that. But thank y'all. We out of there.